The day the colors disappeared, it was a morning like any other, or so it seemed. The sun rose, but something was different. The sky, usually a vibrant tapestry of oranges, pinks, and golds, was now a dull, lifeless gray. People rubbed their eyes, thinking it was a trick of the light. But as they looked around, they realized the truth. The colors were gone, not just from the sky, but from everything. The lush green trees were now shades of charcoal. The once bright red roses in Mrs. Henderson's garden were ashen and pale. Even the golden retriever that bounded down the street every morning was a shadow of its former self, its fur now a muted, indistinct gray. The world had become a monochrome wasteland overnight. At first, panic set in. People gathered in the streets, their faces pale and washed out, whispering theories. Was it a scientific experiment gone wrong? A cosmic event? A punishment from some higher power? No one knew. Scientists scrambled to find an explanation, but their instruments detected nothing unusual. Artists wept, their canvases now blank slates of despair. Children, who had always seen the world in vivid wonder, stared at their toys in confusion, unable to understand why their favorite yellow teddy bear now looked like a shadow. In the midst of the chaos, a young girl named Leela decided to take matters into her own hands. Leela was known for her boundless curiosity and her love of colors. Her room was a kaleidoscope of hues, paintings she had made, fabrics she had dyed, and flowers she had pressed into her journal. She couldn't bear to see the world so empty. With her trusty backpack and a flashlight, Leela set out to find the colors. She didn't know where to start, but she had a feeling they hadn't just vanished, they had to be somewhere. Her first stop was the old forest at the edge of town. The trees, once a rich emerald green, now stood like silent sentinels in the gloom. Leela wandered deeper, calling out, "Hello, colors, are you here?" She heard a faint whisper, like the rustle of leaves. Following the sound, she came across a small, glowing pool hidden in a clearing. The water shimmered with faint traces of blue and green, as if the colors were trapped beneath the surface. Leela knelt down and dipped her hand into the pool. The water was warm, and as she touched it, a burst of blue spread up her arm, restoring the color to her skin. She gasped in delight. "You found us," a soft voice said. Leela looked around and saw a tiny, glowing figure hovering above the pool. It was a color sprite, a creature made of light and pigment. "We've been hiding," the sprite said sadly. "The world stopped appreciating us. People stopped noticing the beauty in the little things, the way sunlight dances on water, the way flowers bloom in spring. So we retreated." Leela's heart ached. "But the world needs you," she said. "Without you, everything feels empty. Please come back." The sprite hesitated. "We need a reason to return, a promise that people will cherish us again." Leela thought for a moment, then smiled. "What if I show them? What if I remind them of how beautiful the world can be?" The sprite nodded. "If you can inspire them, we'll come back." Leela rushed back to town, her arms still glowing with the blue from the pool. She gathered everyone in the square and told them about the color sprites and their plea. At first, people were skeptical, but as Leela began to paint a mural on the side of the town hall, using the colors she had reclaimed, they started to remember. They remembered the joy of a rainbow after a storm, the warmth of a golden sunset, the peace of a green meadow. One by one, people joined her. They brought out old paintings, dyed fabrics, and planted flowers. They sang songs about the colors they missed and shared stories of their favorite hues. As they did, the world began to change. The gray faded, replaced by faint traces of color that grew stronger with every act of appreciation. By the end of the day, the sky was once again a brilliant blue, the trees a lush green, and the roses a vibrant red. The colors had returned, brighter than ever. From that day on, the people never took the colors for granted again. They made a point to notice the beauty around them, to cherish the little things, and to remind themselves that the world was a better place when seen in full color. And Leela, she became the town's color keeper, ensuring that the hues never faded again. Because she knew that colors weren't just something you saw, they were something you felt. And as long as people remembered that, the world would always be bright. The end.